Which bands besides Pink Floyd do you admire the most? I really love Bob Dylan. He just wrote the best lyrics, especially 1960s, 1970s Bob Dylan. I saw him in concert. I went to Red Rocks, wonderful venue in Colorado outside of Morrison. And it's like built right into the mountains. And you have these wonderful open air amphitheater. And I was so excited. I had my Bob Dylan shirt on, and I go there, and I brought some friends who were like real Bob Dylan fans and so forth. And we had to wait for Bob Dylan to come. And of course, he's late because he's fucking Bob Dylan, right? You never expect that guy to be on time. And then I hear him sing. And first off, it sounds like he's been eating bowls of Brillo pads, washing it down with acid. His voice was just messed up and terrible. And I was, oh, God. Okay, well, I still can have the novelty of hearing Bob Dylan sing Hurricane and Tambourine Man and all these great songs. And he refused to sing any of them. Not a single fucking one. He sung all this new stuff, which was like Jimmy Buffett had sex with, I don't know, like pick your favorite bluegrass singer. And it was like Margaritaville bluegrass Bob Dylan. It was crazy. And half the audience left like within 45 minutes of the concert. It was so bad. And people were yelling like, along the watchtower. And he'd be like, fuck you. I'm just going to do my thing. Bob Dylan. So vintage Bob Dylan, great. Modern day Bob Dylan, we'll just pretend he doesn't exist. I love him. Another guy I loved, Jim Croce. And unfortunately, he died, I think, in 1973 in a plane crash. But he did a lot of wonderful songs like Operator, but he also did Time in a Bottle. And everybody forgot about Jim Croce. And then X-Men did Days of Futures Past or something like that. And they had that lovely scene with the guy who could slow down time, or speed himself up, Quicksilver. It said, I could have time in a bottle. That was Jim Croce. And a wonderful art. I really like Jim Croce. I also like John Denver as well. And, John also died in a plane crash as well. In fact, one of my best moments, I watched a YouTube video of John Denver and Johnny Cash together, and they were singing a duet for Rocky Mountain High. And Johnny Cash was another one. What was sad about Cash was that he got this great manager and producer to work with him right before he died. And he did all these amazing albums, and he did these amazing covers. Like he covered Marilyn Manson, Personal Jesus. He covered Trent Reznor, Hurt. In fact, the Hurt cover was so good that Reznor was like, I don't own the song anymore. It's like, people are going to think I covered Johnny Cash's song. So I love Johnny Cash, both vintage Cash, like A Boy Named Sue. That's a great one. Boston is another band I really enjoy. In 1976, they were kind of a one-hit wonder, one album wonder. They came out with More Than a Feeling, and then Long Time. Incredible jam band. And I saw them in person at Fiddler's Green down in Arapahoe, in Centennial, here in Colorado a few years back. And it was a great concert. The Doobie Brothers opened for them. I really enjoyed it. Gotta love Journey as well. I saw Steve Miller and Journey years ago at the Pepsi Center. And then I liked Steve Miller so much. When I had the IHK Summit in 2019, I called Steve Miller up and I was like, Steve, what are you doing? And he's like, well, nothing. I say, can you come to Miami and play at my conference? And he's like, well, pay me a lot of money, I'll do it. I said, well, okay. I say, well, I also talked to CCR a little earlier today, and Clear Arts Creed and Revival is going to, come and, right, they can't be Revival anymore. They're revisited. They're going to come and play for me. And Steve's like, well, I've never played with them before. Okay, maybe we can make that happen. So I got CCR and Steve Miller to come and play, and boy, that was a lot of fun. A little expensive for Steve because he charged me to fly all of his guitars out. And I thought for sure that wasn't going to be very expensive, but he flew 14 guitars to Miami, and that was fun. But God, it was a great concert. Hung out with him backstage and got to see him. And Steve's getting a little older, but I really enjoyed it. Been to Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Dakota, Philadelphia, Atlanta, LA. And of course, you have Dan Larimer's favorite song, Take the Money and Run. But Steve did great work. And then CCR rocked it. Absolutely. They fucking Fortunate Son, Born in the Bayou. They were going all, and they just got some great people in that band. They got this kid from Sundance that's doing all the vocals, and God, he's good. So I really enjoyed CCR. It was just a great concert, private concert that we put on. The other band I really love is, as I mentioned, is Pink Floyd. But there's actually two cover bands for Pink Floyd that are incredible. There is the Pink Floyd Experience, and there's Brit Floyd. I actually tried to get them to play, and they were both overbooked and super busy. But next time I do the IOHK Summit, I'll see if I can get them to come and maybe get either Waters or Gilmour. Well, I'm a little upset at Waters because of that goddamn opera that he did. I went and saw it, and it was horrible. So maybe I'll get Gilmour to come and just have him play with like Brit Floyd, and I'll say, okay, it's Pink Floyd. Gilmour's here. It's Pink Floyd. It's okay. We're good. We're good. God, who else do I love with bands? I've met a lot of musicians. I really like Charlie Daniels as well. I was going to have him come play. It's really cheap to get you to play. I saw him at the Golden Nugget all the time. So I go to NFR every year, the National Finals Rodeo in December. It's the first week of December in Las Vegas. And Charlie Daniels almost always would be there in Frontier Days up in Wyoming. And so I just go and see Charlie Daniels play. And you can get great tickets for like $40. You sit in the front row seat. He had this 80-year-old guy come out there and just fucking jam for 2 hours. And you say, where does he find the energy? This is absolutely remarkable. And unfortunately, Charlie Daniels died this year, and I was really sad about that because he was a hell of a guy. He played with Elvis, he played with Johnny Cash, he played with Bob Dylan. He was in that Tennessee music circle right in the 1960s where like everybody knew each other and they all played with each other. And his claim to fame, a lot of you guys probably heard "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," and that's just a great song. He's just fiddling it up and everything. There's lots of parodies behind it. I can't stand any of the new pop stars. I've had some hearing loss over the years, and the auto-tune new pop stars, I can't even really fully grok the lyrics in a lot of cases. So I guess I've become an old man. Also, there's just no musical talent there. It's just manufactured in a laboratory, and they run them for a few years and then replace them with another model and replace them with another model. Exit Katy Perry, come in this model, and it's bereft of anything. I think Lady Gaga is incredibly talented, though. She's like a spiritual successor to Cher and Madonna, and she kind of did her own thing. And she has a lot of natural music talent, and was trained properly and has the right pedigree and so forth. And I'm a little biased because we have the same Lamborghini, although mine's a Spider. Same color, though. So yeah, Gaga is interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of bands out there. A lot of classical musicians that are tremendously talented as well, like Valentina Lisitsia. She's a Ukrainian pianist and probably the best pianist alive right now. Absolutely just remarkable. And she did something that few pianists can do. She played everything that Beethoven ever wrote, and also the same for Chopin, and played it probably better than Beethoven played it. She's like Franz Liszt with a feminine twist. So there's some great pianists there. And one of the joys I had when the world was open is that I'd always try to catch an opera or a symphony, and especially all the European travel. It was very easy to go see the Berlin Philharmonic or the Vienna Orchestra, or go to the Zurich Opera House and see a nice performance or something like that. It's just like, it's a nice evening, and I really enjoy doing those things. So I'm very eclectic and diversified musical taste. A lot of really cool music happening in Africa. I was in Rwanda. I just met with President Kagame, and I was in Kigali, and they said, you have to go to this after party for this Africa Transform Summit. I said, sure. And so I show up, and they had all these young, like, techno, rap, classical, cello, traditional African artists that were there just doing stuff. And I was like, whoa, what is this? I don't know what's going on, but it's amazing. I'm both confused and aroused at the same time. It's strange and magical. So there's some really cool stuff going on there in the Rwandan music scene and the Ugandan music scene. You gotta give credit where credit's due. Okay, I think I've lost everybody with my musical ramble.